Hello and thanks for tuning in. I'm Holly Shields and this is Metaverse. Today we're narrowing in on a revolutionary, first of its kind project, a metaverse for good. GiveTree Open Metaverse is a virtual game world built around an NFT marketplace that allows your digital transactions to make an impact on the real world. And here to fill us in is the founder, Sam Joel. Welcome to the show, Sam. It's great to have you with us.
Hello, yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you on. Now, first of all, for the unacquainted, could you maybe share with us a bit of an overview of GiveTree's economics and its specs as well?
Yeah, sure. So we've built the game in Unreal Engine and it's built on top of an NFT marketplace, which is going to be a multi-chain NFT marketplace. And we're going to be launching the product in April after we do our crowdfunding campaign through virtual.com in February, March, and early April. And yeah, we're looking really forward to launching. And we've got over 100 impact partners and creators that have already come on board from around the world, from different Web3 organizations and blockchains and game studios and creators and all the good stuff. So yeah, we're quite excited for launch in April.
That's incredible, very exciting there. And is it correct they're planning on raising that initial $1 million?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
It's amazing. And what are you hoping that'll turn into long term in terms of the fundraising capacity?
Yeah, so we're going to use the money to build out the product, scale the team, and really give us a runway where we can actually compete on the global stage. And hopefully what we can do with that money is prove to the world that the Sydney Web3 community is quite talented and can compete on the world stage.
Very exciting. It's always good to have someone in Sydney on the crypto sphere. Very good there. We love to hear it, as we're obviously based in Sydney ourselves. So it's always good to see. And I understand as well that your Discord community has had a major role in supporting the project. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely have been focused on trying to grow the Discord community. I've done personally over 200 meetings with different Web3 experts around the world over the last sort of 8 to 12 weeks, so the last sort of 2 to 3 months. And I've also been working very hard to upskill and learn as much as I can. I've gone through over 8 books on Web3 technology on Audible. I've watched a lot of YouTube. I've really done my best to try and learn as much as I can about the space as quickly as I can, because as you know, it's rapidly evolving. And every day there's something new to learn about. There's something new and exciting. So just doing my best to keep up, and I'm sure everyone else is as well.
Absolutely, you're spot on there. And it's incredible to think actually that you did start with fairly limited knowledge, I believe, and then you've sort of grown and expanded that knowledge and education on NFTs and the metaverse in a really, quite a short span of time there.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is just talking with people just like this. I think there's a lot of people out there that have skills that you don't, and all you've got to do is talk to them. And most people in the Web3 community, what I've noticed, are like really humble, really nice, and really just genuinely want to share their expertise and their knowledge with you if you just ask for help.
I'm definitely with you on that. It is a really good space to be in. And do you think as well that perhaps those with little metaverse or NFT knowledge will also be able to catch on to GiveTree and participate just as easily?
Yeah, I think so, because like metaverse is really it's one of these words where it's not very descriptive of what it actually is. So you think about GiveTree as just a virtual game world that you can access from your browser of your device without needing to download anything. And when you start to think about it like this, it starts to become a lot more accessible. I mean, everyone plays games already. It's not a big deal to play a game. I think in my opinion, over the next 10 years, what will happen with metaverse worlds or virtual game worlds is it will be very similar to YouTube. So there's over 35 million YouTube channels at the moment. I think that within 10 years, there'll be over 35 million game worlds, and you'll be able to go into those with VR headsets or through your device. And these sorts of things will start to become more and more popular. So I know it's called the metaverse, and sometimes that's a bit like confusing, but I just think about it like virtual game worlds. That's in my opinion, much easier to understand.
That's fascinating. I mean, what you're describing, it sounds like the metaverse itself will be decentralized in of itself, as in there'll be multiple channels in the thousands or perhaps the millions, like you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that the big thing that a lot of people in this space are focused on at the moment is interoperability between worlds. So it's this idea of how do you make one world talk to another world? How do you take one digital asset from one world into another world? How do you take data from one blockchain and put it on another blockchain? All this sort of stuff. That's where we're at right now. Like, it's very fun and exciting to talk about like what's going to happen in the future, but at the moment, it's just those, what are the next practical steps in front of us that need to be done? And it's really some, it's really the small stuff at the moment that has to be done. Like, anyway, I won't go too far into that, but yeah, it's exciting to think about what's in the future. But right now, everyone's just trying to deal with the problems in front of us with developing the technology. Yeah.
Yeah, you are quite right there. And, just to touch on the social impact as well, because GiveTree is essentially, for a social good, and it is, a charitable work effort, I believe. So, the space is obviously a well-funded one. Would you say that this kind of charitable work for social good is just what the burgeoning billion-dollar industry needs?
Yeah, I think like, here's how I look at it. There's investors like Kathy Wood who refer to the metaverse as potentially having a value of in the trillions as a market, and I look at it like, okay, that's a lot of resource. I wonder how much of that resource is going to be directed towards making an impact in the real world. And I think when we talk about charities, we're talking about organizations that are set up in the real world to solve problems that can make the world a better place. And so in that way, it's a very good idea to want to actually try and help to organize and distribute the resource to these organizations more effectively to help them solve those problems more effectively. And I think, from GiveTree's perspective, this is we've actually built the product in a way where it's actually going to be able to help organizations just like this one that we're all looking at now, where you're seeing somebody sort of taking food for the homeless. It's very simple. Every time there's a transaction on GiveTree platform, a percentage of that transaction goes to an impact partner. Now, that impact partner could be a charity, could be a DAO, could be a profit for purpose group. Now, it's an organization, a group of people that are solving a problem in the real world, and GiveTree is going to help to get them more resource. It's very simple. Okay, so let's use a practical example. So there's a world famous Sydney-based artist called Mulga, and Mulga is going to create some art, which is what he does, and he's going to then sell that art as an NFT on GiveTree. He's going to mint that NFT and sell it as an NFT on GiveTree. Then he's going to donate a percentage of that sale. He's going to donate that to a charity partner that we've got called Half Cut. And Half Cut's then going to take that resource that they've just received, and they're going to go and protect the Daintree rainforest. They're going to buy some lots of land in the Daintree rainforest, and then they're going to conserve it. And then they're going to study it to try and learn more information. So, for example, Half Cut have just had a scientific report produced on Lot 93, where they discovered that there's a really cool rainbow fish that lives there that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And that's an example of why it's important to protect the Daintree rainforest. And it's a really good example of how you can have a creator earn an income for themselves using Web3 technology and also make an impact in the real world at the exact same time. So in that way, we're going to be helping to support creators and charities to make the real world a better place. And in my mind, that's pretty exciting stuff.
That's incredible. It sounds like a win-win-win there, a triple win for everyone involved. And it's interesting the way you talk about it. It's like the scope of the charitable work and the social issues addressed is quite large, from homelessness to conservation issues.
Yeah, I think so, because I think it's about understanding that there's no such thing as like an isolated problem in the world. All problems are interconnected, and most problems come back to a broken money problem at the core of it. When you really get down to it, it's a broken money problem. And I think what Web3 technologies such as blockchain and cryptocurrency and NFTs and smart contracts, what they do so well is they start to solve that broken money problem. And as a result of that, they're then able to start looking at solving some of the other problems as well, because all of the problems are interconnected.
Very well said there. And I believe as it stands, the issue with charities is the allocation of money and resources isn't quite as it should be. Is that fair to say?
I think there's a lot of opportunities for charities to improve. I think that there's an opportunity with GiveTree to assist charities in seeing how Web3 technology can be used and encouraging them to use that Web3 technology more and more, and giving them really accessible ways to use that Web3 technology for the first time. You know, GiveTree's working through some pilot programs with some top 10 charities in Australia at the moment, just trying to find like a really easy way for them to sort of ease into Web3 and start using it for the first time. I think, you know, for me personally, it's very important that we start to get charities using Web3 technology as soon as possible, because the organization's structure and process needs to align more with the new technology, and at the moment it doesn't. And in that way, it's very important that they start to think about Web3 technology now, because there's some big changes in their futures that are going to have to start to occur.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Obviously, the integration aspect that you mentioned is very crucial when it comes to their finances as well. You know, you've picked a very good time, I must say, for GiveTree's launch, Sam. April is a naturally bullish month for the crypto sphere. So I'd like to ask you what we can look forward to seeing from the platform beyond its launch in the coming year.
Say the question again, sorry?
What can we look forward to seeing from the platform beyond its launch in the coming year?
Oh well, there's a lot to look forward to. You can look forward to things like seeing charities using a virtual game world for the first time, seeing them create. You know, we're going to be creating a digital twin of the Daintree rainforest in GiveTree. So you'll be able to come into the GiveTree virtual game world, and you'll be able to see the actual Daintree rainforest in the game. You'll be able to go up and interact with that rainbow fish I mentioned earlier. So this sort of stuff is very exciting. You know, there's opportunities to do this sort of stuff in the virtual game world and in the metaverse. You'll see we'll be bringing creators 2D characters from their NFT collections. We'll be bringing those to 3D life for the first time in stunning 3D. So there's a lot to look forward to. Creators have got a lot to look forward to. Charities have got a lot to look forward to. And people who benefit from those donations have got a lot to look forward to as well. Because what I've noticed in the Web3 community, especially around the world, is that there is a desire to want to help. There is a motivation to want to give back. Many projects are building in a charitable component from day one. And I think that's really, really cool to see.
Absolutely, that's very cool to see, and especially, I mean, the digital twin stuff that you mentioned will be exciting for anyone to see, particularly users of the metaverse as well. But all in all, very exciting stuff, and it sounds like you've got yourselves in a very good position there with GiveTree's launch coming up in this April. So with that said, though, it's been really great chatting with you today, Sam. Thanks very much for joining us on Metaverse.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Pleasure to have you on. Thanks for your time as well, viewers. If you've just joined us, that was Sam Joel, the founder of GiveTree. They're doing some phenomenal work in this space. Have a look. And that is a wrap for now, but tune in next time to stay Metaversed.